I flip the switch when the sun dips low, a golden glow on the melting snow. It paints a path up the empty drive, keeping a promise to stay alive, to keep a vigil warm and bright through the long and lonely night. It's a habit worn down to the bone, now that I'm sitting here alone. It's a porch light for no one, a beacon in the dark for eyes that won't see. It's a waste of a good bowl, maybe, but it's a piece of you still left in me. It says I'm home, I'm here, coming from the cold, a story that's already been told. It's a porch light for no one but me. The moths still come, they beat the glass, dancing in the light that's meant to last. For headlights rounding up the hill, for a shadow with a familiar will to climb the steps and shake the chill, and a heart I promised to fulfill. Now they just circle, lost and small, and I watch them, and that is all. It's a porch light for no one, a beacon in the dark for eyes that won't see. It's a waste of a good bowl, maybe, but it's a piece of you still left in me. It says I'm home, I'm here, coming from the cold, a story that's already been told. It's a porch light for no one but me. Maybe it's not for you at all, maybe it's to break the night's default, maybe it's a tiny defiant sun to prove that waiting can't be done. Or maybe it's just a simple, stupid light that I can't bring myself to turn off tonight. Let it burn, let it shine, this little piece of what was mine, a porch light for the memory. It started in the bedroom, a dampness in the air, but you're the calm to linen that wasn't never there. And down the hall it traveled, a slow and creeping spread, a puddle by the fireplace, droplets on the bed. Now I miss the kitchen window, beads upon the stove. It's a weather system personal, a storm only I know. It isn't pouring, it's just weeping, a perpetual soft release, turning my whole home to a monument of peace and grief. There's rain in every room, a gentle gray and gathering gloom. It falls inside the walls, it drips from memory shells. I'm living in the aftermath by myself. and I don't know why. Where we met outside says it's sunny, clear and bright, but my internal barometer stuck on endless night. Umbrellas are useless. What comes from within, a slow leak from my heart through my paper-thin skin. I've burned marks on my shoulders, ferns in my chest. This internal ecosystem is putting me to the test. Will I flutter? Will I flourish? Learn to breathe this water air? Will I simply dissolve from the weight of the chaos? There's a rain in every room, like gentle crying, gathering doom. It falls inside the walls, it drips from memory's shelf. I'm living in the aftermath by myself. It blurs the epoxy wall for floor. It cools behind the silent door. Closet full of tears I've yet to cry. There's rain in every room, and I don't know why. Maybe it's not a storm to be survived or plead away. Maybe it's just the new and feminine condition of my day, to live in this soft falling, this liquid quiet state, where love and loss both gently precipitate. Let it fall, let it mist, let it soak through the The furnace hums, the night is cold, a story that's too often told. I curl up tight on my own side, with nowhere left for me to hide. From the empty space, the cotton plain, it whispers your familiar name. I reach across out of old habit to find your half of the blanket. It's just fabric now waving, a cold express on our old bed. But I still see your shape there pressed, the ghost I'm trying to undress. I pull it close, I seal the heat, a counterfeit of feeling complete. seem to forget it. I remember the fights on where it ended. Our borders were drawn and then unended. The gentle tug of war and sleep, a promise both of us would keep. Now there's no battle, no shared ground, just this vast and silent night of too much cloth and not enough. The comfort that was once so tough. This is fabric now is stretched, a cold expanse on our old bed. But I still see your shape and on your hat for the blanket, but my heart can't seem to forget it. Maybe I'll wash it, fold it away, start fresh with the coming day. Good for now in this moonlit square. I pretend that you are there, and I will be so tired. Wish you back inside the night. This empty space I can't control, just your half of the blanket. Built a little pyre in the backyard sink, struck a match and tried not to think about the smiling faces frozen in the light of a summer I felt endlessly bright. First one curls and blackens at the edge, a silent, painful, necessary pledge to stop living in a paper past. This ritual is none to last. I'm burning my photos, watching our history sign like books. The flames are hungry, they eat the proof of a love that was once so aloof. nothing of you left to hold. That one from a pier, the wind in my hair, a moment so perfect, so painfully rare. It resists for a second, the emotion glows. Been surrenders and everybody knows that the story is over, the book is shut. No, not what if, or maybe, or but, just a cathartic cleansing, arms in blue, turning we into embers and ash, and I too am burning our photo, watching our history turn your ghost. The flames are unbreathing, the proof of a love that was once so new. The heat on my face feels like freedom, like sea, as your smile gives way to the fire within. Now I'm burning our photos till there's nothing of you left to hold. Yet the neighbors think it's a trash fire, let them scare. Let the smoke carry prayers into the air, for a woman who's choosing her own light to see by, not the dim fading glow of a captured goodbye. This isn't anger, baby, this is creation, building a new world from a conflagration. Ashes to ashes, dust to the breeze. I'm finally able to breathe. Deep, resonant piano chords with the cello, entering in the second voice, all clear but strained. This emotion I build my whole world on, the shifting sand. I breathed you in, I called it air, a perfect trust without a care. But the tide turned cold without a sound, and my feet couldn't find the ground. Now there's water in my lungs and a silence on my tongue. I'm sinking in the peace we made, drowning in the choices laid. I see the sun from far away, shimmering gold of yesterday. But I'm anchored to this ocean floor. Loving you just hurts me more. Salt water in my lungs. The pressure builds with every thought of every battle that I fought, to keep my head above the wave, to be the one you couldn't save. The souvenirs of sunken days in the crushing bluish haze, the echoes of your voice, the ship's lost spell. say to flow, to just let go, but you're the current down below. Each memory, a riptide's pull. My heart is heavy, breakable and full of this love, this endless sea that's finally swallowing me. No gasping, no final fight, just fading into bluish light. Salt water in my We signed our names inside the closet door, a secret pact in '94. You drew a heart, I drew a star, promising we'd go this far. Impermanent, you laughed and said, as you gently kissed my forehead, it'll outlive the pain, outlive the walls, a fortress for when summer falls. But seasons turned and pain gets thin, and sunlight slow to wander in. Even permanent marker fades into soft and blurry shades. The black to gray, the sharp lines bleed, a victim of a simple need for light and time and air to flow in quietly. It lets us go. I trace the ghost of what we swore. It doesn't hurt me anymore. Permanent marker fades. I found it while I packed the last box, a relic hidden in the locks of memory and childish things. The joy a simple promise brings. My finger follows where you wrote the catch, the curve inside your throat. It comes away with just a sigh and dust beneath the sober sky. No grand betrayal, no fiery end, just timeless, silent, gentle friend. The impermanent marker fades into soft and blurry shades of black to gray. The sharp lines bleed, a victim of a simple need for light and time and air to flow in quietly. It lets us go. I trace the ghost of what we swore. Doesn't hurt me anymore. Permanent marker fades. Maybe nothing's built to last, just echo from the fading past. A lesson written in the dust, to love the now because we must have. Promise wasn't in the ink, but in the moment I think a gentle blur, softened edge, a silent knowing pledge that noticed it this morning while brushing my teeth in the sun. A patch of clean, bright tile where a darker twin should run. I turned and checked the hallway, stretched my arms out wide and high, but nothing stretched out after me. Against the wall nearby, I'm standing in the brightest noon I've ever seen, and yet I'm casting no more darkness than a man I've never met. Even my shadow left too, the one thing that was guaranteed to follow me through. When you took your light, I guess it had no choice but to depart. Now I'm a woman with no outline, just a hollow blazing heart. I am weightless, I am nothing, pinned beneath this brutal sky. The final proof I wasn't worth the space I occupied. Yeah, even my shadow left me. It learned the trick from you. At night, under the lamppost glow, where other people's shadows dance and flicker long and low. I have conversations with the pavement just to hear a sound, but my silhouette is absent on that consecrated ground. I become a source of light, they say, but it's a vicious burning white that erases, not defines, and steals the comfort of the night. Even my shadow left too, the one thing that was guaranteed to follow me through. When you took your light, I guess it had no choice but to depart. Now I'm a woman with no outline, just a hollow blazing heart. I am weightless, I am nothing, pinned beneath this brutal sky. The final proof I wasn't worth the space I occupied. Yeah, even my shadow left me. It learned the trick from you. Footsteps is the only song I sing, alone, utterly, without even myself to keep me company. It starts as instinct, muscle memory, my tongue against my teeth, forming the sound of we. It's in the coffee order, the signature on a line, the first word in my prayer, the last one in my mind. I whisper it to sunrise, I curse it to the rain. The sweet and bitter burden, the source of all my pain. I have to let it go, I have to break the chain. So I begin the process of unlearning your name. Unlearning your name, syllable by syllable, dismantling the flame, erasing it from paperwork, from stories, from the air, trying to make a stranger from some I see it in the credits of a film we used to love, carved into a park bench, sent from up above. I flinch each time I hear it called out in a crowd. My head turns on a puppet string. I'm crying not aloud, but screaming on the inside, where the echoes never fade, just repeating, repeating the name I need to degrade into just a sound, a collection of letters, no claim. So I continue the process of unlearning your name. I'm learning your name, syllable by syllable, dismantling the flame, erasing it from paperwork, from stories, from the air, trying to make a stranger from someone who was there. It's the hardest education, this forgetting how to speak the language of my heart when it was strong and not so weak. I'm unlearning your name. What will I be when the task is done, when I've lost the battle and the war is won, when my mouth stays still and my heart feels nothing, just a hollowed out bell that stopped its ringing? Is that freedom or a deeper, colder cage, a final silent sentence on love's final page? Unlearn your name. Here's finally, hesitantly, stops. You kissed me in the blue hour, when the world was soft and deep, a secret just for us to keep, a promise I could read. We spoke in hushed tones, plotting our escape, drawing maps upon the bed sheets, sealing our fate. But your eyes grew heavy, lulled by my steady breath, as you drifted into dreams. I stared at the edge of death, of daylight, and I was forgotten by sunrise, as the gold bled through the blinds and touched your eyes. You woke to a world remade without my name upon your lips, a new day had erased the night's eclipse. I was just a shadow, a story you told in the dark, a fleeting temporary spark, forgotten by sunrise. I watched the colors change on the wall, on the line of your jaw, from indigo to gray to something raw and new. I memorized the shift, the exact moment I knew that the magic had an expiration, a contract with the moon. And as the sun declared its victory in that quiet room, I was already fading, a ghost facing her doom. And I was forgotten by sunrise, as the gold just a shadow, a story you told in the dark, a fleeting temporary spark, forgotten by sunrise. Do I live only in the in-between, in the velvet dark, where truths are seen? Am I just a creature of the waning moon, doomed to vanish with some spectral tune? Will I ever feel a morning that remembers me, or is this how love will always be? So I learned to love the moonlight and dread the coming dawn, forgotten, just gone. And 7 digits, one and old, a number that my fingers know by soul. I punch them in with trembling care and hold my breath in the midnight air. I count the rings, 1, 2, and 3. A tiny hopeful part of me still thinks you might pick up and say the words to take the pain away. But it just rings into the void, a hope forever unallied. Then that sound, that dial tone serenade, the price of every mistake I made, a flatline hum, a dead-end song, to tell me all I knew was wrong. I sing along to its lonely sound on this cold and empty ground, my one-sided symphony of what you meant and what's left of me, this dial tone serenade. I memorized your voicemail cheer, sorry that I'm not right here. I let it play just to pretend this isn't really how it ends. I speak my piece to the recordings beep, a secret for your machine to keep, a plea you'll never ever hear, drowned out by the tone so sharp and clear. It cuts me off, it ends the call, the emptiest sound of the dial tone serenade, the price of every mistake I made, a flatline hum, a dead-end song, to tell me all I knew was wrong. I sing along to its lonely sound on this cold and empty ground, my one-sided symphony of what you meant and what's left of me, this dial tone serenade. I know I should delete the contact, face the simple, brutal fact, but my thumb just hovers, weak and sore. What is hope for if not for this anymore? To listen to the empty hum and feel the ghost of love to come. A steady note, a constant key for a love that used to be my dial tone, my only song, where I still I turned the dial on the old radio, searching for a station that I used to know. A song we love, a late night show, but all you get is quiet, muffled low. A hissing white noise, empty and deep, the sound of everything you failed to keep. It fills the car, it fills the room, it blossoms in the gathering gloom. It's just static where you were, a hollow, constant, shapeless stir. I strain to hear your voice inside, but all the frequencies have died. I'm tuning in emptiness, a silent, aching, vast confessional. Static where you were, a never-ending low, soft blur. Scroll through photos on a screen so bright, frozen moments in captured light. I try to hear the laugh behind your smile, but it's buried underneath the mile of silent space and passing days, and this relentless soft white haze. It buzzes in my ears at night and dims the stars and kills the light. It's just static where you were, a hollow, constant, shapeless stir. I strain to hear your voice inside, but all the frequencies have died. I'm tuning into emptiness, a silent, aching, vast confessional. Static where you were, a never-ending low, soft blur. Maybe silence would be worse, a vacuum or an ancient curse. At least this sound proves something's there, a signal lost in thin air, proof of life now passed away. I listen to the noise all day. Just static where your heart used to beat. I've cataloged the artifacts, arranged them in the hall. A ticket stub, a faded scarf, a photograph of fall. Each item has a plaque I wrote with academic care, detailing how we found it and why it matters there. The air is cool and still, the lights are softly dimmed to save the fragile painted memories from the darkness of the grave. No visitors come calling, there's no entrance fee to pay. It's just me and the echoes at the closing of the day. Welcome to the museum of us, a collection of love turned to dust. Walk slowly, don't touch the display. The past is so brittle today. Here lies the sweater you left in my car, under glass like a shard of a star. A silent exhibit of what used to be in the museum of you and me. The central piece, a hollow ring, sits on a velvet stand, a monument to promises I couldn't understand. I polish it on Tuesdays, though it never seemed to shine as brightly as the moment you first said you were mine. The gift shop selling postcards of a smile that's now a ghost, and I'm the lonely docent of what I valued most. I know I should close down for good, dismantle every shelf, but it's the only place on earth where I can be myself. Ooh, welcome to the museum of us, a collection of love turned to dust. Walk slowly, don't touch the display. The past is so brittle today. Here lies a sweater you left in my car, under glass like a shard of a star, the silent exhibit of what used to be in the museum of you. They build museums for the greats, for kings and queens of art, but this one's for a lesser love that still owns half my heart. A private show and one last look before I turn the key and let the whole collection sink into eternity. Exit through the gift shop, take a piece of pain. The museum of us is closing down in the rain. They wander through the gilded rooms, they speak in cultured tones, admiring the brushstrokes, the light, the fractured bones of art that's long been finished, signed and placed upon the wall. They never seem to notice you, my love, most haunting of them all. You stand there by the landscape in the frame of the French door, a semi-transparent patron, forever wanting more. You don't disturb the viewers, you don't make the painting sway, you just linger in the periphery and wait for me each day. Oh, ghost in the gallery, the masterpiece, they'll never see you haunt the space between the frames, the dust on the parquet, a permanent collection of our yesterday. I'm the curator of your memory, I keep the lights down low, so the living never question why I move so painfully slow. In the gallery, the only piece I understand. And night when all the doors are locked and moonlight stripes the floor, I sometimes see you clearer than I ever did before. You trace a line along my jaw, a chill I can't dismiss, the faintest impression of a long-remembered kiss. You don't speak, you never have, your story's in your eyes, a silent, glorious portrait of our beautiful I wish that you were mine. Oh, ghost in the gallery, the masterpiece. They'll never see you haunt the space between the frames, the dust on the parquet, a permanent collection of our yesterday. I'm the curator of your memory. I keep the lights down low, so the living never question why I move so painfully slow. My ghost in the gallery, the only piece I understand. One day they'll find me sleeping right here on the bench, and they'll hang a little plaque that says she had an iron hand. She gave her life to beauty, to the artifacts of grace. They'll never know I spent it staring at a phantom's face, at the one exhibit that was never meant to last. The ghost in the gallery, my future and my past stay as long as the walls shall stand. My ghost, my love, my man. You don't pack a bag or slam a door. You don't declare a civil war. You just get quieter in the room. Let the silence start to bloom. Your opinion soften into fine. Your laughter's no longer mine. You become a pleasant ghost, a fading smile I miss the most. It's not a leaving, it's a leeching, a gentle, constant, quiet bleaching. This is how to disappear slowly, become a footnote in your own story. Turn down the volume of your soul till you're no longer a whole. Let your colors rinse to gray in the middle of the day. Subtract yourself piece by piece to offer someone else peace. This is how you disappear. You cancel plans with soft excuses. Your presence slowly reduces to a scent left on a chair and the shadow of your hair in a photo looking vague and far. Beneath a cold and distant star, you erased the us and we so carefully, so painfully. It's a masterclass in evaporation, a drawn-out whisper resignation. This is how to disappear slowly, become a footnote in your own story. Turn down the volume of your soul till you're no longer a whole. Let your colors rinse to gray in the middle of the day. Subtract yourself piece by piece to offer someone else peace. This is how you disappear. And one day they'll look up and start and say, you know, she had a heart. I think I loved her once, it seems, but you'll be gone, just scraps of dreams. The greatest trick you'll ever learn is how to make a fire not burn, but smolder out without a light and vanish in plain sight. A little less each day, until there's simply no more me to stay. I shouted in the canyon of what used to be us, a ragged, angry sound, a burst of broken trust. It rattled off the sandstone walls I built around my heart and tore the fragile silence all apart. I screamed your name, your failures, every ugly, bitter truth, the indisputable collected proof of how you ruined everything. But the rocks, they have their own way of seeing things. 'Cause the echo is kinder than your voice ever was. It softens all the edges, gives me pause. It turns my I hate you into I hate this, a gentle rolling miss. It takes my you left me and brings it back as left, a simple fact of all the love bereft. The echo doesn't argue, doesn't lie or spin. It just reminds me that the sound is coming from within. To confess a hope, a hurt, a tangle, messy guess about who I am now in this hollow cavern space. And every time the echo gives me grace, it stretches out the sorrow till it's thin and almost sweet. It lays a painful memory at my feet and says, here, look, but don't pick up the stone. I'm learning how to listen to the sound when I'm alone. 'Cause the echo is kinder than your voice ever was. It softens all the edges, gives me pause. It turns my I hate you into I hate this, a gentle rolling miss. It takes my it back as left, a simple fact of all the love bereft. The echo doesn't argue, doesn't lie or spin. It just reminds me that the sound is coming from within. Maybe I'm the canyon now, worn deep by my own tears, holding space for all my unacknowledged fears. And the echo is my again, gentler until the echo is just a song. It's not in the thunder, not in the crash, not in the shattering of glass. It's in the moment after, when the ringing in your ears confirms the thing you've been denying for years. It's in the space between the ticking of the clock, in the void where your key used to turn in the lock. It's a hollow, high-pitched tone that's felt, not heard, in the bone. It's the ache in the silence, a physical press on the chest, a vacuum where your laughter used to live and breathe and rest. It's the weight of a missing goodnight, the deafening lack of a sigh. It's the sound of my own blood rushing, asking a relentless why. It's not loud, it's not sharp, it's a dull and endless tide. This ache in the silence, with nowhere left to hide. I play music to drown it, fill the house with sound, but it finds me in the spaces between notes underground. It's in the pause before the host says we'll be right back, in the missing half of a familiar worn out track. It's the quiet of the phone, the blankness of the screen, the most deafening nothing I have ever seen. It's the ache in the silence, a physical press on the chest, a vacuum where your laughter used to live and breathe and rest. It's the weight of a missing goodnight, the deafening lack of a sigh. It's the sound of my own blood rushing, asking a relentless why. It's not loud, it's not sharp, it's a dull and endless tide. This ache in the silence, with nowhere left to hide her. They say time heats so, fills the void with something new. But what grows in a vacuum? What sound can pass through? Maybe this ache is the new shape of me, a sculpture carved from silence for the whole world to see. Listen, can you hear it? The loudest nothing ever. slow my pace, so my purge the path across the space. It highlights particles that dance and float above the last unfinished note. On a sheet of music left open wide, on a bench where you used to reside, a perfect outline in the gray of where you sat to play. Now there's dust on the piano bench, a quiet, settled, patient bench, and wood where your warmth would seep into the songs you'd play in your sleep. The keys are cool, the metronome still waiting for the ghost to feel the will, to break the spell, to stir the air. But there's just dust on the piano bench there. I sometimes hear the echo of a phrase, a minor chord from happier days. It hangs there in the hallway, feet in tin, a memory that I can't let in. I won't disturb the delicacy, the silent, sacred, dusty dream of your hands, so sure and light, filling up the house at night. Now there's dust on the piano bench, a quiet, settled, patient crunch on the wood where your warmth would seep into the songs you'd play in your sleep. The keys are cool, the metronome still waiting for a ghost to feel the will, to break the spell, to stir the air. But there's just dust on the piano bench there. They say to clean it, start anew, let someone else sit there, play something true. But this museum of ours needs its quiet, its gentle rust, a monument to harmony that's paused, not going, you see. So let the dust lie soft and deep, a lullaby to put to sleep, the song we never finish. Scroll through pictures from a year ago, a different girl. Her eyes were bright, her smile was an unfurled flag of hope and curiosity, a fearless open heart before the world, and you tore it apart. She's a stranger to me now, locked behind a glassy screen, living in a before that feels obscene to even look at. 'Cause I miss you, that's the easy part to say. I miss the way you brush my hair out of my face, but God, I miss myself too. The one who wasn't endlessly waiting on you, the one who laughed from her belly, not a throat, who wore confidence like a favorite coat. I miss the me I was before the fall, and I wonder if I can find her after all. To have opinions on the books I read before, not just analyzing everything you've done. I had a favorite coffee shop, a solitary routine, a life that wasn't built around a scene where you were the director and I was just the cast, playing a role that was fading fast. Hard to say, I miss the way you brush my hair out of my face, but God, I miss myself too. The one who wasn't endlessly waiting on you, the one who laughed from her belly, not a throat, who wore confidence like a favorite coat. I miss the me I was before the fall, and I wonder if I can find her after all. So this grief has two faces, two voids in the night, the shape of you leaving in my own fading light. And healing means learning which one to address first, the abandoned lover or the spirit you curse. Maybe loving her is how I let you go, the only love I've ever known that has a chance to grow. Welcome back, it's been a while, I've missed your smile. This room still holds the shape of us, a dent in the couch, a film of dust. I trace the cracks along the ceiling, feeling the weight of this slow unfeeling. My feet are heavy on the floor, like I've never stood here before. Each step's a task, each breath is laid with all the good and kind words left unsaid. Oh, the gravity of leaving is pulling at my seams, a silence inside, holding all I'll ever need, and the future I can't quite believe. Oh, the gravity of leaving is pulling at my seams, the silent steady grieving in a house of shattered dreams. I'm fighting just to stand here against the tidal wave of the gravity of leaving, and the love I couldn't say. They say just turn and walk away, as if it's just another day. But every atom in the space clings to the memory of your face. The law that pins me to the ground is the saddest force I've ever found. The handle cold beneath my palm, this final overwhelming calm. I cross the threshold, I break the spell, and learn to bear this personal hell. The gravity of letting go. We didn't know to mark a calendar, to take a mental bow. We just lived inside the sunshine of the everlasting now. The car was always running, the future just a blurry, friendly place. A smile rested easy on your face and mine. We talked and always spoke and never ending. Our troubles were just plot points in need of mending. We were golden, we were stupid, we were brilliantly unaware that the axis of the world was shifting. Before the frost of doubt, the slow encroach of fear, before the silences grew longer than the talks, before we started keeping separate mental clocks. We were kings and queens of a limitless domain. I'd give anything to go back there again, and live inside that perfect ignorant cheer, back in the last good year. I've got a box of photos and they all look the same to me. Smiling faces under an untroubled sea of blue sky, of possibility, of endless open road. A shared and secret, lessening precious load. Now I look at later pictures and I see the subtle strain, the way we're standing slightly apart in the rain. The sequel to the story where the magic starts to fade, and we started building memories in a different, colder shade. That was the last good year, before the frost of doubt, the slow encroach of fear, before the silences grew longer than the talks, before we started keeping separate mental clocks. We were kings and queens of a limitless domain. I'd give anything to go back there again, to live inside that perfect ignorant cheer, back in the last good year. They say don't look back, it's not where you're going to. But what if the only there you wanna be is already through? What if your finest hour is receding in the rear